EOCO describes him as someone Samuel Dapaah, described as Director of Strategy, Research and Communications at the OSP. Indeed, that's the official title that we have of him from the OSP. Sammy, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Sander.
The Economic and Organized Crime Office has issued a statement. They say that they asked you for information as way back as February, which information is on the transboundary investigations that you did. You have failed or refused to give them that information, and that is why they had difficulties proceeding. And they've even given evidence of the meetings that were had between their officer and your deputy SP, among a number of other correspondence that they've shared with us. What is happening?
Yes, Sander, I'm aware of it. First of all, it's most unfortunate that a whole institution which we deal with could describe another officer as one Samuel Dapaah. It's most unfortunate. But we will let that slide. Now, I'm aware of what EOCO has given you and all that. Now, the letter that you just read to the public, I need you to go back to the statement of the age, and then the statement that was made by the head of Economic and Organized Crime yesterday. Let's distill it just one after the other. Yesterday, Citi News, she granted an interview to Citi News or to journalists and said that she was going to hand over the docket to OSP. We told you that she had long returned the docket to OSP as of last week somewhere. And yet, she granted an interview and said she was going to give the docket to OSP, which means that she had not given to the OSP. She's now going to give to the OSP. I have been able to show that that is inaccurate, that she had long returned the docket and said that on the advice of the agent, they were not going into it. Secondly, if you go to the Attorney General's statement and what they had said, they said that they had requested for investigative report. Investigative report is not the same as requesting for the findings of the FBI. Now, I can understand the situation they are in, and I can understand the desperation to want to turn this on the OSP. But I will repeat. So you just read the letter they gave you to the OSP, the same letter which we
and the letter said actually that they sent you the docket on 3rd May.
The time don't matter.
No, I'm just talking about just one issue, because you talked about what she said yesterday about returning the docket. I'm saying that the official statement here says the docket was returned to you on 3rd May 2024.
Of course, it now has to correspond with what we have. But what she said yesterday was inaccurate. Pure inaccuracy.
Okay. So you made that.
I seem to suggest that the docket is now going to be sent back to the US. Now, let me go back to the letter they gave you, and they've given other media houses with the hope that this will turn around. I don't even know what is going on. But in that letter, they are requesting for investigative report. What do they mean by that? Investigative report means that you are requesting for OSP corruption investigative report. EOCO does not have the jurisdiction to investigate corruption. This attempt to want to shift it to some investigative report that we should have given to them. And as you are aware, OSP always publishes its investigative report. I can count from day one, the special prosecutor took over. The customs investigation, it was published. Wealthy businessman, it was published. How do you call it? Dubois, it was published. Almost all the investigations that we have done before it even goes to court, including the Northern Development Authority case, it was published. Now, what we have said is that on this matter, we terminated it because we realized that it was in the region of money laundering and transferred it to you. We also accompanied it with what we call a cover letter which explains why we think it should be money laundering. Now, why do you need a corruption investigative report? Because as they've been able to go to our website and quote exactly what we said on our website. It's the same thing we have said. But what matters, what I want Ghanaians to pay attention to, is the fact that we did not give EOCO an empty docket.
But if you did not give them, why? Because I'm looking at the letter that was given you on 1st February. The 4th paragraph says, we would appreciate it if you could furnish us with a copy of your findings on the case to facilitate our investigations. What this means is that you did not give them the information. And again, it continues. The last paragraph says, in furtherance of the investigations, kindly provide us with the name and contact details of focal person or persons at the OSP. Hold on, let me land. I mean, to enable our investigators contact them on matters relating to the referral case.
To the beginning, which is that when they say your focal person, they have even acknowledged the focal person in their letter. The focal person being our director for strategy, our director for investigation.
So you give them the name and contact of a focal person. How about the paragraph that's
it was done?
Okay. What about the paragraph that says you should furnish them with a copy of your findings? What was your response to them about that?
What they claiming and attributing to me is that they said that they requested for an FBI finding. I'm stating it here again. The letter they gave you and they've shared to you and they've given to all the other journalists, and tonight we are going to see another round of insults and all that, is that they are requesting for our corruption investigative report. They are not requesting for an FBI report. EOCO does not investigate corruption. EOCO investigates money laundering and other economic crimes. What we have given them is enough basis for them to do their investigation. We gave EOCO every document, including statements from suspects that we had interrogated, which is enough for them to find a predicate offense, and in addition, be able to do unexplained wealth demand under Section 1.3 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act. They shouldn't bring all these issues that because they did not come. I gave a typical example in the morning. When we began this investigation, the first docket we needed was the docket by the police service on the arrest of the house help of Madam Cecilia Dapaah. As we speak to you, we never had that particular docket. But OSP did not even rest. OSP went further and even went to search the homes and discovered more things. We have done all these and done extensive work and sent the extensive work to you. And we have said that extensive work is enough for you to do your independent investigation. I am asking again, when EOCO decided to investigate the allegation that was given to them by Ministry of Transport, did they write to Attorney General to request for advice on whether they should look into a matter which did not even fall under their jurisdiction?
But
we have sent you something that investigates.
But I mean, if you're
going back to the angle that there was no investigative report, and so because of that you couldn't investigate. The raw materials needed to do investigation is what we went to. Now, EOCO has been transferring dockets to us. Ask them, now that they've been able to share to you, maybe we should also be sharing the dockets that they've been referring to us.
Which is actually what I was coming to. You see, they have put out the letter they sent to you on 1st February communicating. Hold on. No, the letter is a record. The letter is a record I can refer to. They said in that letter. No, hold on. It does establish that they have established. Hold on, Mrs. Amida. This letter does not say FBI report. The letter, and I can read the paragraphs again.
They have said that I said that they did not request for the FBI report, and I'm speaking on authority again as the Director for Strategy, Research and Communications. They can choose to call me one director or whatever. I'm speaking on record again that EOCO never requested for the FBI report.
No problem.
And their own documentation has proven to the whole world that they never did.
Okay, but their letter.
Report.
In fact, you see, I want us to restrict ourselves to this document here. The letter of 1st February. The letter of 1st February does not mention the word corruption. I have not seen it on any part of the letter. It simply says you should give them more information. They use the phrase further information. Then 2, they say they've acknowledged your docket and that they have commenced investigations. They also say that they would appreciate you if you furnish them with a copy of your findings on the case to facilitate their investigations. 1 second though. And they say in their letter of today, or their press release of today, that that letter was received by your field desk officer named Solomon Tete, but as we speak, you are yet to provide that information. And that's important. Can you show us the public letter you used to respond to this 1st February letter from the EOCO asking you for further information? Because they have said that this is the request we made, they have not honored it. Do you have a contrary information that you honored this information, or you wrote to them saying there's nothing to send to them?
Again, I will go back and say that there is nothing here. EOCO, we had a standing committee. Every information that we had that we needed to give to EOCO, the OSP gave to EOCO. And I've told you what you need.
And did you write to them to respond to this letter to say, we gave you everything, so we are surprised you are sending us this letter?
Standing committee that have been working between OSP and EOCO. There are unofficial communications between OSP and EOCO. What I'm trying to tell you is that EOCO says they want the findings of our work on corruption. You will say that it's not on corruption, but the OSP really does corruption. And I'm saying that you don't need the findings of us because every finding that you need has already been put in a file.
But I mean, if you only
want to request for specific information,
but if you
request for specific information,
okay. if you only do work,
you are referring to our corruption investigation reports that we usually write.
But that would be an unfair presumption, because if you did not do work outside corruption, you wouldn't have known that what Cecilia Dapaah engaged in was money laundering, for which reason you thought that EOCO should do that. So clearly you have some findings that point to money laundering, for which reason you asked EOCO to investigate, and they're asking to give us that particular information, which information I'm not supplying.
I'm saying to you that all that information was provided to EOCO. What EOCO needs to be able to do its work, we gave to EOCO. Okay. Is that we gave EOCO every information that is needed to trigger an investigation.
Great. Did you reply their letter? Did you reply their letter?
We were not going to do a money laundering investigation and write that report for them. What we do is corruption report, and if we had finished a corruption report on Cecilia Dapaah, we would have published that corruption report for Cecilia Dapaah. You cannot say that you need a finding from us on corruption, and then the same way I told you that reconcile what EOCO is saying with what the Attorney General also said, which is the same thing they are repeating here, that because there was no findings to them. How do you say there was no findings to you when we have given you the basic material that you need to do investigation?
Okay, I want
do for you.
Okay,
as a whistleblower that would have brought you the information.
I want a straight answer to this question. Did you reply the 1st February letter from the EOCO or not?
It's not an issue about whether we reply the first letter or not. I've just
did your office reply?
I've just told you that there are unofficial communications, and there was a standing committee that was exchanging information. That is the director of investigation and the deputy director at EOCO. They were exchanging information. That's the standing committee. So you read the letter. The first letter of them says that you appreciate to give you a contact person. It should tell you that has already been done, because now they say that they came to the contact person, and the contact person said that he was going to reach out to the SP and get back to them, because you are requesting for something that may be an internal report, which is that our findings or maybe on corruption. But what we have brought to you is a whole docket on all that we discovered that border on money laundering.
Okay.
Then we think that you can go into it and get predicate offense and then be able to do your work.
All right.
And that we have supplied to you.
Finally,
back and forth is not going to help any Ghanaian. And this attempt to want to insulate and attack personality is most unfortunate. It's the most debasing thing we can ever do, which is that you want to attack another officer of an institution. When you were going around talking, when you were going around issuing things that were inaccurate, you didn't think that could be corrected.
Okay. Finally,
we have just got to correct it.
Finally,
we have not put anybody in any bad light.
Okay. Finally, we have an authority that the docket you sent to the EOCO was the original docket and not a copy of the docket that you sent to EOCO. We have been again told that that is not something, a normal practice in the investigative world, and that you should have kept the original and sent a copy to your colleague institution, and
well,
that you sending the original meant you have completely washed your hands off the case, and yet you are also saying again that you are always open to further investigation in the matter. Can you explain to us why you decided to send them the original and not the photocopy?
Indeed, that is very interesting. Now, the argument has been debated to the extent that we are talking about whether we give them the original or not. What is wrong with giving you an original docket? Or is it your understanding that because you have seen an original docket, it means that the OSP is without any receipt? And have you not returned the original docket to the OSP? Is it lost? If it's not a standard practice, and we have decided to give you an original docket, how is this even an issue? How does this help the people of Ghana? That we are supposed to collaborate, we are supposed to work together, we are supposed to feed each other with information. That information is supposed to be worked on. If you feel that information, you cannot work with it, yes, you come back and say you cannot work with it. You could have contacted us again and say that, okay, I think that I cannot work on this if I don't see your corruption investigative report or whatever. Those things could have been done. But now to the basic, to the level of even telling journalists that they should ask us as to why did we bring the original docket?
But that presupposes that you have closed your or washed your hands. But I'm saying that you have also said you plan to go back to it. So what did you?
No, I've not said we plan to go back to it. Sandra, what I've said is that there is nothing like an end to a criminal investigation. If new facts come to us that grant us to be able to go into the matter, we can go into the matter. That is what it means. And this is not an issue that can be used to debase the whole argument. The argument is whether the information provided to EOCO was sufficient enough to warrant EOCO to do its own independent investigation and be able to now send its independent investigation to the Office of the Attorney General for the Office of the Attorney General to advise on whether they want them to prosecute or not. That is the crux of the matter. Did OSP provide you with sufficient information to enable you? If you say no, fair enough.
Very well. Finally, sorry, I've said finally already, but now that you have the docket back to your table, what are you going to do? Now that your collaborator or your co-investigator said they are not interested, what are you going to do with this docket? You just maybe shelve it somewhere and say good night?
I think we are going back to the same matter which we have already said that there is nothing like an end to criminal investigation.
I know, but at least for now, based on everything you said, it's supposed to be money laundering.
I do not have instruction on what immediately will be done. However, what I do know is that anytime there is development on the case, it can be reopened.
But for now, prosecution rests.
This is not an OSP EOCO AG matter. This is about the people of Ghana getting to know what's really happening and wanting to know a solution to the matter. We have investigated and we came to the conclusion that the things that we were seeing fell largely in the province of money laundering. If the person with jurisdiction over money laundering says that they don't think that it falls under their mandate, fair enough.
So for now,
it is not every case that you go into it that you may get to a conclusion. Some cases take years.
What if a cynic and a critic says, "Shame on you, OSP! You wasted our space and years and time, and after 7 months, you returned no verdict at all, and now there are tomatoes or eggs in your face." What would you say to that? And Cecilia's friends come to your office and claps in your face and says, "Oh, to you."
Only the uninitiated may think that way, because as I told you, investigations sometimes take years. We spent 7 months. It's not that long, and the 7 months we spent, we've been able to establish a number of things which are facts You cannot take it away.
Very
The fact that our investigation does not result in prosecution is not a waste of the taxpayers' money. It means that the institutions tasked with the job of anti-corruption are working, they are alive and looking into matters. If it turns out that they are unable to prosecute, it does not mean they have wasted the taxpayers' money.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you, too.
That's Samuel Appiah Daku. He is the Director of Strategy, Research and Communications at the Office of Special Prosecutor.